Hello students, I am Assistant Professor Yeshan Bora from LG School of Law, and today we'll be discussing about the topic of offences relating to weight and measure, which is mentioned under chapter 13. Now before starting the lecture, I will suggest the students to please keep with them one bare act of IPC, and that will really help them a lot to understand the sections and provisions of the IPC, and again it will be easier for them to understand the provisions of Indian Penal Code. Now seeing this particular picture, what you think, what you get, what is this about? So we'll be discussing the offenses exactly which are related to weight and uh, weight and measures. Okay, so section 264 of Indian Penal Code uh, talks about like the offenses relating to measures, weights and measures starts from section 264, and section 264 talks about the fraudulent use of false instrument for weighing. Whoever first fraudulently uses any instrument for weighing which he knows to be false shall be punished with the imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 1 year or fine or with both. Now you must have seen so many examples in the videos, in the news, in the movies, and in your general life also, that people, the shopkeepers are uh, they they generally, not generally, just sometimes they have some ill will, and to make more money, in urge of making more money, uh, they uses false equipments, or they uses uh, machines which can manipulate the weights, and by doing that they uh, like they do fraud with their customers. Therefore this section is for those kinds of people. Okay, so whoever fraudulently uses any instrument for weighing, like he knows that this particular instrument is not the correct instrument, and he is fraudulently uses that particular instrument, and again that particular person is having knowledge and he is having intention to do fraud, then in that case that person will be charged under section 264. And under 264 the punishment for those kind of persons is imprisonment for 1 year, or with fine, or with both. Okay, now moving further, section 265. Now section 265 talks about fraudulent use of false weight and measures. Now it says that whoever fraudulently uses any false weight or false measure of length or capacity, or fraudulently uses any weights, measures of length or capacity as a different weight or measures from what it is, shall be punished with the imprisonment for either description for a term which may extend to 1 year or fine or both. Now section 265 talks about the measures. Okay, weight and measure. Weight as in, like this, these days we have got the electronic equipments, but and earlier times we used to have one weight, like there is a 250 grams of weight, 500 grams of weight, 1 kilo weight, 5 kilo weights. So sometimes people used to manipulate those weights. Okay, you must have seen in the movies and in the real life also, they put one magnet beside this weight, so that it the other side of the weight, so that it may feel heavy, and the magnet will less the amount of the whatever commodity the person is buying. So these kinds of malpractices has been done, and it's been like the people, some people are doing this. So in that case, if the person fraudulently uses any false weight or false measure of length or capacity, like sometimes you have seen that on petrol pump also they are some petrol pumps, and they are the cases in which the petrol pumps they use false measures. Okay, they show, the machine show it is 1 liter, but if you really check it will be less than 1 liter. And again, the same with the milkmans. Okay, they have their funnel, in that they put it and it is like for 1 liter or the half liter, and they manipulate that particular weight. So all these kinds of fraudulently, like fraudulent, the person acting fraudulently and uses any false weight or false measure, then in that case the person will be punished under section 265, and the punishment under section 265 is same as section 264, which is the term of imprisonment which may extend to 1 year or with fine or both. Now moving further, ingredients, as I have said that a weight or measure is a false one, that the accused used such a weight or measures and that he did so the fall fraudulently, then in that case the person is liable under section under section 264 and section 265. Now moving further, section 266, being in possession of false weight and measures. Now any person who is in possession of any instrument of for weighing or of any weight or of any measures of length or capacity which he knows to be false, intending the same may be fraudulently used, shall be punished under section 266, which may extend to 1 year or fine or both. So you see that if the person is having possession of these false weights and measures, and he knows or he has intention to use that particular false weight and measures to fraud the people, then in that case he'll be charged under section 266, and the punishment is imprisonment for 1 year, which may extend to fine or both. Now, moving further, section 267. Now, section 267 talks about the making or selling of false weight and measures. Now, if someone is if some people, shopkeepers or some persons are using this false and false weights and measures, then there is a market also regarding that buying and selling of false weight and measure. So this section is for them. Now whoever manufacturing or selling these false weight and measures, uh, and they know that these weight and measures will be used by the person, and again they know that it is not of the true nature or the true description. Okay, in that case the person will be charged under section 267, and whose punishment is imprisonment for 1 year or with fine or both. So now I hope you must have got the provisions related to the weights and measures. They are small provisions, and you just have to learn the sections and the ingredients, nothing else. As in section 264, it talks about the fraudulent use of false instrument for weighing. Section 265, it talks about the fraudulent use of false weight or measures. Section 266, being a possession of having, like the person is having possession of that weights and measures. And section 267 talks about the making or selling of weight and measures for that particular use. Now again you have to remember that there is a term which is used here that is very important: fraudulently. And knowing, if the person is using for the purpose of to make a fraud or to do a fraud, in that case the person will be charged under these particular section. So I hope you must have got all provisions related to the weight and measures. And if there is any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box, and your doubt will be resolved as soon as possible. Until then, take care of yourself, and we'll be back soon with the next lecture. And I'll rest my lecture here. So thank you and take care of yourself.